Hi, I'm Jim with InStuffMusic.com, and today I'm here to do a demo of an amplifier from Suhr, the SL-68. This amp offers a wide variety of great clean and crunch rock tones. You can get some great variact and lead tones out of it. We're going to do an extensive demo today. It's going to take a little bit of time, but first I'm going to describe some of the features of the amp, and then I'm going to get some sounds with the Les Paul and the Strat, and then we're going to do some pedals. So, first of all, the setup, if you're familiar with the old Plexi style amps, I'm sure you're very familiar with how this amp is laid out. It has some added features, but let's look at the control panel. You have your standby switch here. You have your on and off master switch. You can switch down to low power, so this amp on high is 100 watts, on low it's 50 watts. So if you set it to the low setting, you can get some of those great kind of sagged out variac settings, your presence control, your EQ section, bass, middle, treble, volume 1 and volume 2. You have two channels with 4 inputs. Channel 1, the top input is your high sensitivity. It's going to give you kind of a brighter, hotter sound. Channel 1, the second input's just a lower sensitivity. The second channel on the top is a high sensitivity, but it's going to give you more bass, okay? So channel 1, a little brighter, a little more sparkle. Channel 2, it's a little more boom. And then your channel 2, same thing, more bass response, but a lower sensitivity. Later on, I'm going to show you how to jump the amp to bridge the inputs. And when you do that, you go into input 1, and then you take your input from the low sensitivity 1 into the high sensitivity of 2, and you can blend the two volumes and get a different variety of sounds. So what I'm going to do now is first with the Strat, I'm going to run through the settings that Suhr himself suggests. This is the clean. It's kind of like a punchy clean sound. And here's the neck. Now, as you notice, there's a little bit of break up there. We can get the amp even cleaner than that. On the back of the amp, there's a master knob. So if I turn the master volume up even higher, and I bring volume number 1 down, I can make it even cleaner. But it's still pretty touch sensitive, so if I'm pretty clean here. But if I dig in, I can get a slight amount of breakup. Now this amp has a ton of power. I've only got the volume out here on 2. The master in the back, I just turned it up to about, I'd say, 7. We have 4 EL34 power tubes and 3 12AX7 preamp tubes in this amp. So pushing 4 12s right now. In the back you can go out 4 ohms, 8 ohms, 16 ohms. You have plenty of power to do the full stack and run 8 12-inch speakers. This is definitely a face melter if you want it to be. So I'm going to return the master back to 5, and now I'm going to dial in a crunch setting. So essentially I'm going to keep everything about the same, and I'm going to bring up volume number 1, and here's what we have. All right, now I'm gonna bridge the inputs. So anytime you do this, always make sure to put it on standby. And we're gonna bring the wattage down to low. So now we're in 50 watts. You need a patch cable. Like I said before, we're gonna go from the low sensitivity of 1 into the high sensitivity of 2. I'm gonna take my volume number 1, spike it, bring the volume 2 up to 7. Now you can mess with these and get a big variety of sounds. I'm going to keep my EQ settings about the same. Take it off of standby. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to take this Les Paul here, and we're going to get some sounds. I'm going to run through the same settings on the amp as I did with the Suhr, and you can see how it compares. Obviously, these pickups are still like medium to low output humbuckers, but they're going to kick the amp a little harder in the front. So here is the punchy clean setting. Okay, let's do a crunch and bring the volume up, and... take it down to half power. Keep it on channel 1. All right, and finally, let's jump the inputs. Okay, we're back here with the Suhr, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a wah pedal, a fuzz pedal, a univibe, a cocoa boost, and an analog delay. First off, I'm just going to do some wah sounds. Next, here's what fuzz sounds like. Univibe. Here's a Coco boost. I'm just going to use the mid boost side. Here's the boost side. You can really get that nice jump, you know, and almost treat it like a two-channel amp with a really good boost, or, you know, a Tube Screamer-esque pedal. As you can see there, it's a great rhythm sound. Boost it. You have a great overdrive sound. Now, this amp does not have an effects loop, so you might think, well, can I use delay effects? You can. If you have the amp set up really dirty, it tends to get a pretty messy. But if you have a nice, clean sound, certainly pretty cool. To mix that in. You have to be careful you don't wash the tone out too much. But it sounds really cool. And if you run the delay pedal in the chain after other overdrive sounds, you can use those too. Okay, that should just cover about everything. That is the SL-68 from Suhr.